It says that the wet weather tires have awful degradation. I have, at this section of the weekend, have not confirmed that statement instead of shifting a million times over the course of the stage, because we do have gearbox damage, and oh my word, what a catch right there. Co-driver saying we did the fastest time. I'm hearing very conflicting things here. Now we're going to check the timing, and yes, look at that. Down in 7th place, T. Serrano with a 10-second penalty for reasons I do not know. But all we care about is we have now won that stage, and T. Serrano is usually the person right on us. So, I want to see. He jumped the start.
What an idiot. Oh, what a loser.
Way more than I should have. 3 right Titans. Let's see if I take this one better. Oh, not even a little bit. That is so absolutely tragic. Go left. So watch your speed here. Let's see where we go here. Hard on the brakes. Try to hit your pound shifts. Going in too hot and spinning it around. We might as well do a donut for the fans. Absolutely calculated and on purpose was that one. Crossing the finish line here in a couple seconds. This last section is not very difficult at all. I have 0. Okay, not that much time. 38 seconds looks like the final verdict there. 21. Yes, 21st. That is us at the top of the podium, and a rather depressing podium, if I'm being completely honest. Where are the fireworks, man? You'll just put my car up there like it's for sale at an auction? That's disrespectful. Hello everyone, CD Racing here, and welcome back for episode 14 of our Dirt Rally 2 career mode playthrough. Now, as you saw from the recap, last episode in Spain, up and downs, a couple off things that were unnecessary, but we did get redemption from our huge shunt in the second season of our career mode. It got the win, and now we move on to, in my opinion, a significantly harder rally, but let's catch up with the championship before we really hop in. So, going into round 3 of the championship, looking at the current standings, we are off to a great start. Back-to-back victories, New Zealand and Spain in the books, but Poland, very high speed, tends to be a little lengthy of a rally, and numbers-wise, looking at our lead, 9 points over second place with a significant gap to everyone else. So, if we can keep the Frenchmen behind us, I believe this career mode, or season 3 at least, is already under lock. And speaking of 3, engine mapping 3, that's what we're going with this weekend. We want that increased speed. The better performance, I think, is definitely worth the minute hint at durability damage. We need it. And we also need more reliable brakes because of the high speed here in Poland. So back-to-back upgrades to the car before we lock in. It's going to be high speed. It's going to be deceivingly difficult. But I'll see you in Poland. All right, always very happy introductions to our rally locations, and Poland is one that deserves it. It's a bit of a wild one. Not as wild as something like Finland, but we'll call it like the little brother to Finland. As you can see over right now, very flat stages, but deceivingly dangerous. These stages are going to have, honestly, no more than 100 feet of elevation at most. But there is all the danger. These sides are deceivingly dangerous. If you touch the outside of the stage, you're going to feel it. We're talking wheel geometry damage, maybe really shunting the car sideways, and very sudden drops. We might not have a lot of elevation over the course of the entire stage, but you'll go from 16 feet on stage 3 to 0 like that, and that's what you have to look out for. And you'll see it as we get out there. Looking over the weekend right now, you see it all on screen. I'm not going to read them out to you guys anymore, but you will notice a couple big ones, 10.23 miles back-to-back. Now, thankfully, after service stations, we're not going to do 20 miles without a little bit of a break, but a 10-mile stage is, I believe, the longest available in Dirt Rally 2, and we're going to be tackling it in this rather unpredictable rear-wheel drive rally car. It's definitely more tame than other options, thankfully, because it's naturally aspirated. We don't have to worry about turbo lag, but we're going to get a feel for it right now in the shakedown. let the numbers go down. Numbers go up, so do the revs. Not really caring about a launch so bad right here. As you can hear, barely holding the revs there. What we care about more is getting a feel for the car. You see, grabbing a little handbrake into the entry there for style points, and for good reason. We need to understand how this car operates under angle, under acceleration at this particular rally with this particular setup. And early goings here, we can swing it very aggressively. The car dies down. This gravel, although you can't really tell graphically, it is very loose. This rear end is going to be sliding the entire time we are here. And we're going to have to cope with that because in the high-speed sections, you want to keep this car as straight as possible, as we can already see exactly how difficult it is to stay on the stages here. Like I said, look at this little canyon that we're in. Those are those edges that I'm talking about. The stages themselves are very flat, but you're almost racing in this canyon-like embankment the entire time. Both edges are very hazardous to your car. You can get lucky like right there where you cut with your wheels at the right angle and kind of just hop the curb, but if you don't, you're going to be slamming into those walls sideways, damaging your tires. If you get lucky, it's just body damage, but Rally doesn't like to let you be lucky very often, and we're going to go ahead and do any minor repairs to the car. I don't think we touched it, actually, and we are going to do some tuning that you guys don't need to see. So, locking in for the first stage here. No commentary, as always. I will see y'all at the end of it.
Start and turn 1 right tightens gravel into 4 left long. Good luck. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And turn 1 right tightens gravel into 4 left long, 30. 4 right long, tightens over crest, into 6 left, 50. Crest, 100, past junction, 5 right, into 6 left long, 30. 6 right over crest, jump, 150. 6 right, extra long, into narrow, 5 left. 30. 6 right, extra long, tightens, into 6 left. 6 right. 50. Flat left long, 50. 3 right long, opens over crest, into slow, 6 left long, tightens turn, 3. 30. 5 right long, 60. Flat left of a jump, 30. 6 left long, opens of a jump, extra long, opens of a jump, 50. 6 right, into 6 left of a crest jump, into 5 right long, tightens 4. 30. 6 right, into 4 left, tightens of a crest, into 6 right, very long, 30. Keep right of a jump, into 6 left, extra long, tightens 4, into 4 right, and 4 right, into 4 left long, tightens turn 3, opens of a crest, into 4 right, and 6 left, 80, 4 left, slow 70, turn unseen, 1 right. Tarmac, 300. Keep right, into turn 1 left, between bales. 6 right, opens 80. Flat crest, slow 60, 3 left long, tightens turn 1, don't cut. 40, gravel, 5 right over crest, extra long, opens 6 of a jump long, into caution 40, 3 left over crest, opens, into 6 right long of a crest, into 6 left long, opens, keep middle of a big jump, 30, 6 right of a crest, into immediate 6 left, 100 of a jumps, 4 right long, tightens, opens of a crest, into 3 left, keep right of a 30, 6 left, 30. 5 right into 6 left long, opens over finish 80 to stop.
All right, so welcome to Poland in the flesh, and exactly like I described, lots of high-speed areas, a little technical sections where you're in the towns, back on tarmac, where you're on dirt tires. A couple times where the edges almost caught us out, you know, taking some damage on the side frame there. That's all Poland, and we're going to have to keep rocking with it. Now, second place over that stage with, what is that, 1.5 tenths separating us. Incredibly competitive stage. However, he made it out with no damage, and I most definitely did not. So, definitely overall stage winner goes to Mr. Jacob Meyer there, but we're going to fight hard going into stage 2. A little over 4 miles. Not that long compared to what we usually see here in Poland, so hopefully we can just lock in, but we will see how it goes.
Starts 6 right into 6 left 30, 4 right. Good luck.
All right, calls coming in. Jacob Meyer is the current stage leader, but as the lights go up, so do the revs. We're going to launch the car a little bit softer than usual here, just to keep damage to the transmission at a minimum. 6 right into 6 left, 30, 4 right into slow, 5 left, turn 3 right. Already quite the S's section coming in front of us, and that is, as y'all have already seen over the course of this weekend, quite the common thing here in Poland. A lot of wavy sections, back and forth, left and right over these deceivingly flat sections. You see the huge walls to my left and right, but the stage in front of me is relatively flat besides a couple of bumps and maybe a big jump every now and then as we absolutely send it over that first one into the second, even larger one. That must have been at least 2 seconds of airtime there. And you know that y'all are going to listen to me eventually. Poland is wild. Flat my ass. This is a very deceivingly wild rally. Lots of sudden changes in elevation is what really catches you out. You'll see me very often just kind of letting off the throttle over these blind crests that you encounter all over the stage, because even when the calls come in, you're not 100% sure. Sometimes the calls just don't lay it out 100% like what the stage is really showing you, and that you'll see me do that a lot, cutting throttle over these blind corners, or going into something more simple like a chicane, kind of like clockwork. Slide the rear end out there a little bit just to get it rotated and make sure I hit that, and then straight line on the tarmac into a square left. So, gonna watch our braking here, and the call coming in wasn't 100% clear on the distance. I hit the brakes early, rather play it safe and sorry, ease ourselves back onto the dirt path, and now we are back on the traditional dirt stage that we can deal with here. 4 right into 80, 4 left opens over crest, so watch for the crest coming into this right here. Hard on the brakes, you know it's going to turn in right over that crest. And for those of you that still don't understand what over crest means, that means the initiation of the turn is happening at the crest. If it's 5 left over crest, you are taking that turn as a 5 left. There's just a crest in the middle of it. That's what that means. So if you guys, again, going back to me, you know, lifting or playing it cautious around these sections of the stage that I can't see, just because I hear 4 right over crest doesn't mean that I have the 100% confidence to just send it over these barriers, especially in a car like this. You know, this Datsun is quite unpredictable at times, and catching it isn't as simple as some of the R5 or WRC cars. As you can see, when you get the car loose, you are just holding those edges that I've been talking about for the beginning of this rally weekend. And that's exactly what I am talking about. You get your wheel on those deceivingly high edges on the edge of the stage, and your wheels just get sent flying. You have nothing you can do to control it, especially in a car like this. If we were in an R5 or a more WRC-oriented, high-horsepower, all-wheel drive car, this probably wouldn't even be an issue. You hit a little bump, you've got 3 other wheels pulling you where you want to go. But in this one of your rear tires is compromised, you have already lost what little fraction of control you have, and you see a lot of movement in the wheel as I'm driving this car. Even though ideally most of your adjustment should be with throttle, and this thing, you're constantly fighting the rear end under any sort of turn-in, and it'll just net you a lot of loss if you're not getting it 100% right. You see right there, I could have just flicked it in, but I flicked it in too hard, had to catch it, let off the throttle, and then catch it, and that was a lot of speed to be lost in front of a very high-speed straight section. Then you see the AI pulling away from us on the left-hand side of your screen there. Over the course of these last 2 sections, we have just not had it. Way too unpredictable. Getting a little too invested in those edges, as I've mentioned before, and yeah, that's just going to drain us of time. Already having lost the stage. You see just how bad the damage is, and no. Right at the end, that is actually a puncture as well. That is a flat, flat on the right rear tire. Right at the end, 12 seconds down over the stage leader. Right at the end. I know we weren't that far behind, but right at the end, fumbling it, getting over those edges that I talked about. And once you lose it, you lose it hard, just limping ourselves back to the finish line. We're going to have to go back to the service station and just cry.
That felt good, but let's check the times.
And right on cue, co-driver trying to tell us in the most on-the-nose way that we did not win that stage. Let's check the times. Yeah, buddy, you can just tell me we lost 8th place over the end of the stage, and not the result that we want to see. Now sitting 5th place in the event standings. This year is way more competitive. One little spin out right at the end there, and we go from 2nd to 5th in the overall standings. So we have to lock in with the most. Going into stage 3 at the end of the service station, 4.37 miles with 16 feet of elevation change. Something tells you this one's going to be quite rapid. Hopefully, the damage is not too much to overcome. Now, this is only the first service station. Looking over the tires, the mediums held up quite well over that first stint. So we're going to lock in a second set of mediums. Looking over the damage is what we have to fix here. And I'm going to look at all the important stuff first. Wheel geometry, gearbox, brakes, we can manage without because it is a manual, manage your downshifts. Exhaust is going to be too time consuming. Brakes, the only option is to replace them. And yeah, that's going to take way too long. Bodywork, we could clear away with a quick fix, but then we would have to sacrifice that for a standard fix at some point later on in the weekend. So we're just going to lock this in right here. $4,000, using most of our time. Car definitely feels better, but it is far from perfect. So we're going to have to tiptoe through these stages. Keep it easy on the car. Just get through the end.
Starts 6 right, opens long of a crest to slow tarmac 50. Good luck.
All right, so a quick little surface change right at the beginning of the stage here. Let's see how we cope with that. Relatively short one here. I think it's only a little over 5 miles. So let's see if when we say lock in, we actually lock in. Soft launch, as always. I believe we did fix the transmission damage, but still don't want to push it. Going into this little tarmac section, slowing down because it's tarmac into dirt into tarmac. That was not called. I've just played these games before. And that'll showcase itself here in the upcoming section because I do not take this flawlessly at all. But one right around bail into one left, don't cut, slippy into hairpin left over cobbles, swing it around, catch your drift. You know these cobbles are going to have no grip. Into 3 right, into 3 left, slippy, turn 3 right, don't cut, opens long 100. Now that was a very long and confusing string of calls to come at us. However, if you've taken that section before, if you look in the left-hand side of your screen, you'll notice that we have already put buses on the AI. They do not handle that section well at all, and we are going to use any advantage we can get because as we've seen over the course of the weekend, the competition is stiff. 6 left at 30 into 1 left, so caution on the brakes. You see me braking very early, a couple hills unsettling the car, and it's a good thing we hit the brakes early, barely getting it slowed down there, coming in sideways, powering out as soon as we can. 30 into 6 left over 120, so picking up speed once again, probably going to be back in 6th gear here in a little bit. Into 5 right long, 80, so keeping our speed up over the course of this section. And we're going to get to the first stint section here, see just how big the gap is over the course of this first little sector. Into 6 right over a very sketchy section, catching the car, managing to keep it on the stage. Definitely our first brown pants moment of the weekend. Just kidding, we've literally already hit a tree. But first time that we have gotten ourselves into a sticky situation and come out relatively unscathed. Again, in this little slowdown section here, it's deceiving. Definitely the name of the game here in Poland. As soon as you get into a high-speed section, you get these little low-speed sections where the track gets very narrow. It's a bunch of rapid direction changes, and that's when the rear-wheel drive really shows itself as more of a crutch than just us having fun drifting a car through the dirt. Once you're in these low-speed sections, your ability to flick the rear end around and manipulate it the way that you want to is the only way to maintain some sort of decent pace on these stages. And when you're doing that in a stick shift car, in the dirt, while trying to maintain pace, it gets a lot. That's why rally is so difficult, but that's why we're here, right? Because we want to improve. And my biggest piece of advice I can give to you, and I would take this with a grain of salt because I am not the greatest rear-wheel drive driver, you want to flick the car in as early as possible to maintain what I would consider a fast angle. See right there? Perfect example of what not to do. Into that one right, came in way too hot, and when I tried to yank the wheel to the right, we had way too much forward momentum, just slid into that. And if all of these sound foreign to you, I actually dropped a video explaining advanced rally techniques. You should go check it out. But in the meantime, learning on the job as we send it over another blind crest there. I told y'all I like to cut throttle over those crests because you never know what's going to happen. But watch through this high-speed section. Hopefully I give you all a good example here. Right here, into 5 left, into 4 right over crest long. Turn in for that 5 left and then flick it for the 4 right. You've caught your angle and you just adjust it throughout the corner. I was foot to the floor the second I applied throttle again through that section. Now, is that the best way to take corners in a rear-wheel drive vehicle? No. but it is consistent if you understand it. You hear the call come in, you flick the car accordingly, and then you utilize ideally minute... Oh my lord, again, there's an example of what not to do. Coming in too hot, I tried to get too hard on the brakes, no steering input, wasn't going to go anywhere but a straight line. Now we're losing time. You see a red in that last sector, and there's probably going to be a red in this last sector again, because that is back-to-back chances in low-speed situations where we fail to bring the rear end around. And that's going to be a broken record for this episode, but right there, when the rear end swings out too wide, then you worry about hitting embankments. That's another reason why Poland is so difficult to use rear-wheel drive vehicles, because these embankments on the edge are vicious, and if you accidentally swing that rear end out too wide trying to avoid the understeer, you're going to bang up your wheel geometry, possibly get a flat if you really shunt it like I did at the end of last stage. Lots of things you have to look out for, but managing to catch it up, we did actually have a green sector in that last one despite my doubt. And that is a 6 left into 6 right, back into the very high-speed sections towards the end of this section here, turning the lights on. Things get a little dark in there, just flicking it over these crests. And the interior angle does not give credit to the absolute insanity that you feel sending it over these corners. You'll see a lot of very rapid wheel adjustments because I'm just trying to point the front wheels in what I believe to be the best possible direction to just keep the car on the stage. I'm aware that I'm going fast, but for most of these stages, the thing going through my mind is, oh Lord, please don't send it into a tree. And as we go ahead and cross the finish line towards the end of stage 3, that's 12 seconds back. And it would appear that our mistakes in the last stage have almost immediately been solved by a pretty solid outing by us in stage 3. Good chance for a stage, we do. And the next stage was relatively similar. Nothing particularly incredible to talk about, just your run-of-the-mill stage. We'll go ahead and transport y'all to the start of the next service station and continue on with the rally. All right, so loading into the service station, going into the third stint of the rally weekend, and second half of that, it's one of the big ones, 10.23 miles in front of us after a little 4-miler. So hopefully the 4-miler serves as a warm-up, nothing too crazy to happen there, but that will be seen right now. Now, tire wear has not been an issue at all this entire weekend, but I was still nervous going into the 10-miler. So we're going to lock on the mediums, and let's just see how this goes.
Opens over crests, 30. Good luck.
All right, so new stage leader going into this one. It is not Mr. Jacob Meyer to start this one off, and as the lights go up, so do the revs. Launch the car, continuing the theme of launching the car pretty soft here this weekend, especially on some of these longer stages. The start is not going to make that much of a difference. So if we lose a couple tenths, who cares? And going into the early goings of the stage here, 3 left long. At the end of this relatively quick section, you've got to catch it, and it would appear that that initial corner call did not resonate with me. It came in way too hot there. Lucky to not completely damage the car. Seems like we kind of just hopped the edge there. And we're going to continue on like nothing happened, because that's rally. If it still runs, we still gun. And we're going to do that right now over a series of very crazy unseen crests and mini jumps that luckily with the calls you kind of set yourself up as well as you can, but you still get caught lacking every now and then. Sometimes you'll go over a crest and see the stage in front of you and you'll realize, man, I am not set up for this at all. And luckily in this occasion, catching it okay over that crest, having to shoot towards the right though. And we are lucky to be in such a narrow car that doesn't take up the entire stage, because if we were, you know, just launching over these crests, completely wrong angle, and we didn't have the space to catch it or a little bit of wiggle room, these sections would suck. However, sections that don't suck was that one right there. Y'all see that little entrance into this tarmac section? Woo! Tokyo Drift. Let's hope that our confidence does not come bite us in the ass as we've got a chicane left entry. Try not to lock up on the tarmac. Lock it into that chicane and power out as soon as possible. Now, no distance call coming in this one right, so I hit the brakes rather early. Again, just make sure you get yourself slotted in there. When you're using dirt tires on the tarmac section, lockups and wheel spin are very much so possible. And we want to keep that to a minimum. Back onto gravel now. 5 right, open 70, and now we are back into business as usual. Get used to the feel once again. A little bit of unnecessary wheel movement there to just see how the grip is feeling in case we wore down the tires over the course of that tarmac section, but we did not, and we have a 5.5 second gap over second place as again over a blind crest. Very sketchy. We got an instruction about this one, slow over the crest into 3 left, so I hit the brakes preemptively there, and it worked out for the best. As much as you wish you could send it over all these jumps, sometimes there's a corner right after them, and you obviously can't change direction midair unless you are in an F18, and this is an 80s sports car, so we do not have midair controls. Lock your corner ability in before you send it off the crest, or you're going to have a bad time. And going into this section right here, coming towards the end of the stage, relatively unscathed. We've had a couple moments getting close to or going over the walls, however, it seems like no major damage. Car still feels fine, and we are holding a pretty solid gap over second place, so finding our rhythm here in Poland after some time. First 2 stages were rough, at least. We got a hairpin left coming in here, and again, no distance call, so we're going to just kind of slow it in there. Grab some handbrake early, and you see we actually cut in too early there. Caught our front left on that embankment on the left-hand side, and luckily, once again, not coming away with any major damage. Now we're just going to power onto the end of the stage. It should be relatively high speed over the course of the 6th right over jump. Opens extra long, so we're going to keep it pinned over the jump. It's going to open up for us. Keep it pinned on the stage. We are at the absolute top of 6th gear right now, just hauling through these dirt roads. 6th right, keep left over crest into 40. And why do we keep left over crest? Because there's a right-hand embankment that closes down on us and slow the car down. Coming in really high. Once again, these timing marshals, balls of steel, these guys.
That felt good, but let's check the times.
What do you mean, let's check the times? Did we not win that stage? Hold on. Oh my god. Jacob Meyer. He's at it again. I could have sworn that the splits were telling us we were doing okay in that stage, but I guess not. Another very narrow margin of victory for Mr. Jacob Meyer. Not that I don't want to give him any credit, but he has won another stage here. By far, the most competition we felt over the course of a weekend. I think going into this next stage, we're down 4.5 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, and that's a pretty big gap considering that we haven't had many major shunts. You know, at least anything like hardcore, having to stop or replace a wheel or anything like that. So, big in the 10 miles.
Flat crest 50, 6 right into 6 left over crest, extra long 60. Good luck. 5.
All right, so as the lights go up, so do the revs. Holding it for another soft launch. We're going to be on tarmac here in the beginning, and we know it's going to be high speed. Maybe not so much of a soft launch, quite a bit of wheel spin there. 6 right over 6 left, extra long over crest into 60. Like I said, very high speed early goings here. Keep right over 50, turn 1 left unseen. So we are going to keep towards the right-hand side of the track, maybe a little bit too much. Hard on the brakes, making sure we get slowed down for that 1 left over gravel, and it looks like we have made that okay. 120 over 50, keep left over jump. So watch our speed going into this subsequent jump. We don't know how rowdy it's going to be, but we go ahead and launch ourselves over it. Not that bad. Tightens 4 into 3 right long, so significant loss of speed. Make sure you have the ability to flick that car through that little S section right there. So getting a little bit wide on the exit of that right 3, but we managed to handle it okay. And remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. That is my mentality going into this stage. I know we're keeping pretty good pace, but realistically, over the course of a little over 10 miles, driver and mental fatigue is going to set in at some point. So at this point in the stage, minimize risk. Make sure you get through the stage. In order to finish first you must finish. So we're keeping the pace manageable and pushing when we feel that it's okay. You'll see me letting off for a lot of these corners right there. That call came in as a 5 left. I couldn't see much of the stage, and I did not really remember what came after it, so I let off. Made sure that I had very low speed and then powered out, and you see how well that benefited me over this next section. The confidence has come back. I was able to catch back up with the calls and just do my own thing, and drifting wide towards the embankment there, always a threat. Does not matter the length of the stage, but it's just that much longer we have to worry about it, and that's what I'm talking about. Going through these corners right here, you see a lot of very subtle entries, just kind of going with the flow. You'll hear me let off a lot midway through these corners just because I don't want to risk anything over the course of 10 miles. Going into this section on dirt onto tarmac, and you'd think we'd get grip back, but on these dirt tires, man, if you have any sort of angle coming onto this tarmac, these tires do not hold on at all. Even powering out of that chicane right there, I believe I left in the 3rd gear. As soon as I put power down, we were spinning the whole way. There is no reason that this car should be burning rubber in 3rd gear, but here we are, 6 right over crest long into 50, getting our speed back up in the gravel section, crest into 5 left. Are we going to let off here? Yes, we are. That was actually a tap of the brakes, not just letting off, because again, when there's uncertain entries or things that are just overall sketch, like a 5 left over crest into another very fast section, we don't have to take that section that fast. And this section right here, the speed that we're maintaining through the forest, you're aware as you're doing it, man. Especially that jump right there, you're just thinking, oh my goodness, everything could go so wrong. Moments like that immediately snap you back into reality and realize, yes, the margins for error here are minute. It does not matter how long the stage is. So I'm trying to lock back in with the calls here, keep a middle over jump into 5 left tightens 3. So again, watch our speed here, hard on the brakes. We got a single downshift on entrance. And oh my God, as soon as I was telling you, we got to stay locked in, what do? I didn't listen. 5 left tightens 3, not 5 left tightens and then 3. Tightens into 3. That did not make its way into my little noggin. And now we've got a loose hood. See me sliding there, hitting that tree. Luckily, we hit the tree sideways. Probably not too much damage to the car mechanically, as hard as that is to believe, but I think we're going to be okay for now. Driving away from that accident, the car feels okay. Might have some wheel geometry issues that really aren't even that noticeable. We're fighting the car so much on these stages that a little bit of unpredictability is just adding fuel to the fire that we've already learned how to somewhat manage. As I again get a little too close into the mimics. It's like every time I gain confidence with you guys, I send it off the stage. I really should learn to stay humble, but here we are, facing the actions of our consequences, as you could say, and oh my God, right on cue. That was quite the save from us, getting a little wild there. I was full lock to the left, catching it as soon as the rotation came back, but we want to avoid that as I again pause for dramatic effect over these jumps because we are just losing our mental here. That's really what's happening here. These stages are long. Almost thought about doing a Mustang innocent bystanders, but deciding against it. And now you're going to see the AI just fly away from us on the left-hand side. And what has happened here? I'm going to assume that the initial shunt messed with our wheel geometry, and then our inability to care did not make us drive with as much caution as we should. And we messed around, YouTube monetization friendly, we messed around and found out exactly what happens if you start ignoring those little embankments on the side of the stage. As soon as you hit that, especially at speed, it's over for you. And y'all saw just how quickly I spun out there. I've had quite a few decent saves over the course of this weekend and over my rally career. But man, you hit those embankments at anything more than like 45 miles an hour, you can't do anything about it most of the time. And you all saw that in real life, not really in real life, but you watch it unfold as I played a video game. But we don't have to talk about the elephant in the room as to why y'all are here. What matters is that we are still continuing to hold decent pace over the course of this stage. That little section that we just went through, that little barn back road section, whatever that is, we pointed it out last time, we take that so much better than the AI does. And all of the time that we lost from that massive shunt and spin out seems that it's already been made back up. We'll get clarification as we cross this little sector marker, but it looks like we made up quite a bit of time there. 5 left tightens 4, and yes, we are only down 7/10 to the stage leader, not just anyone in contention, but to the stage leader. So our mistakes not yielding us the most unfortunate results. Our pace has been very strong besides those accidents, and that seems what it is. Wow. All right, soft reset there. That seems to be how it usually goes, is what I was trying to say there before I went full beatboxer. But that's not a false statement. I feel like, especially with me, definitely a fault of my own driving. I am either going 100% immaculate pace, or it's just not there. I think I need to work on consistently good pace, not just all or nothing, because my pace in these career mode videos, when I put it together and hold it together for a stage at a pace I know I'm capable of, I'm blowing out even this harder AI by 12 seconds a stage. But the second I have that slip of judgment, or just ignore a call for some reason, well, I'm sure we've got at least a 4-minute montage at this point of exactly what happens with just like that. That was one of the more less extreme examples, but an example nonetheless of what happens when we lose focus, don't listen to the calls, and everything just comes undone. And that happens far too often, in my opinion, if we really want to start getting serious about improving ourselves, because, you know, we might possibly be getting the opportunity to do this in real life soon, and I would hate to look like a noob or total a car. So we try to learn as much as possible from these, these little sessions. And lesson of the day is definitely consistency. It's become very apparent that the pace is either super strong, and we're doing exactly what we need to do, maybe even more than what we need to be doing at this stage, or we're just absolutely shunting it, destroying the car, making mistakes that we don't need to happen. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to get anyone signed to a racing team. Because I'll tell you what right now, if you are the most consistent qualifier of all time and you're on pole because you can just find that one lap every time, but you just fumble and never make it to the end of a race, no one's going to sign you. They'll say the guy that can get a consistent 7, 9 times out of 10 that they're going to sign you. So, message to myself here, lock in, take a deep breath, stop making dumb mistakes, and we're going to be okay. And it looks like we will be okay, because over the course of the stage, even after our earlier mistakes, we have built up a little over a 7-second gap to the winner of this stage. And I don't want to say anything yet, because sometimes he comes out of nowhere, but Jacob Meyer is nowhere to be seen, at least in the top 5, which means we could potentially be taking a big swing off this gap, because I'm seeing 16 seconds to 5th place, and Jacob Meyer is not 5th place. So we might, despite our mistakes in the middle of the stage, we pressured on, learned a while ago that in rally you never give up in the middle of the stage, because you never know what can happen to anyone else out there. And over the course of a very sketchy section towards the end of the stage in the jungle, huge embankments on all of our sides and very high speed, headlights flickering in and out of focus. Slow it down there and slap the side of that embankment as soon as we talk about it. But as long as the car's still going, this is basically the end of the stage here. It looks like we are in a position to put a massive leg up over our current standings over the event. But 13.5 seconds. Let's see if that actually translates, because sometimes I think they're lying to us. But we'll see right now if it's a conspiracy or if I'm just washed.
We did really well in there. Could be
a stage win. So I believe that does mean it's a stage win, even though he just likes to be coy. I believe that means we did win. And yeah, where is right behind us? Where was this? It's like the game. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm an idiot. You know what? Let me apologize to the game. I forgot that this game is realistic. We were in 2nd place. We are DJ Khaled suffering from success. We have won so often in this career mode. I forgot that if you're not leading the rally, you don't go last. Jacob Meyer went after us in that stage, which is why we did not see his time. It's all coming together. That is why we did not see his time. So, for future reference, if we are not winning a rally, we are not the person going last in our, class of car. Jacob Meyer's time did not exist as we did our stage, which is why we did not get updates. However, he went after us and still lost. Ultimate W, and now we understand what's going on. And now we repair the car for the second 10-mile stage. And I'll tell y'all right now, for the sake of time, nothing interesting happened over the course of this stage. I know that sounds like a scapegoat, but it's not. We learned quite a bit from the 10 miles, and this one that we're about to do is just the same stage backwards, which does have its challenges, but we remember the basic layout, and nothing interesting happens. So we're going to lock in with you guys for the last stage of the rally and see if we're going to bring it home with another victory, or if Poland has one last surprise in store for us.
Looking good for a stage win in there.
And hopping back on board at the end of the second 10-miler, the car looks pretty rough and deceivingly rough. I promise y'all, nothing major happened over the course of that stage. A couple brush-ins with the edges that we've been dealing with over the course of the weekend, and that's about it. Car just got quite dirty over 10 miles of sendage. But looking over the current state of the event times, we have a pretty solid lead on Mr. Jacob Meyer. I think around 13 seconds, if I read that correct. And we still have damage plaguing us, even at the end of that 10-miler. But one last stage over the course of the weekend, a very solid gap at our disposal. Do we find a way to throw this away, or are we going to cruise to victory? Let's find out right now. 4.37 miles separates us from championship victory or another very sad day.
Starts flat left 50, turn 6 right of a crest, don't cut. Good luck.
All right, one last stage to get us to the end here. Lights go up and so do the revs. I believe we're launching on tarmac, so we're going to keep it a little bit softer, right around 4 grand. Dump that clutch, let the wheel spins go out, and send it accordingly. 6 right over crest into 6 left 50, flat middle over 80. So high speed going into the middle here. Jump into 50, into 4 right narrow. So We got a pretty tight turn coming up here. We're going to immediately throw down our speed. Did not know how that one was going to end, but we managed to make it work. 6 left in the jump into crest jump. Launch it over here. And this is that sketchy section that we were talking about at the end of the last 10 miler. Now we're starting it and backwards. This is the exact same start of the stage that we just finished, so we know what we're dealing with here, which is why I'm taking this a little bit more confidently. I literally just drove this in the last stage. So 6 left into 4 right narrow over crest. Don't put 5 left. So swing it in accordingly. You know you can't be too far to the left, so you wait to flick that car back, and then you can send it in accordingly. But that turn, a little bit more drawn out than we expected. You saw me mid-corner having to adjust the rear end, make sure we don't just steer into a wall. And we've been playing with that all weekend, huh? Always having to be conscious of where the rear end of the car is, and we managed it decently. However, the second we don't, we get into little accidents that you've seen all weekend. You know what happens when we lose focus. But first sector done. A pretty solid lead over the remaining drivers, and is, wow, the karma. The second I start to type nice about myself, I send it off the stage. Luckily, only sideswiping someone's barn, I'll pay for that repair myself if we win. But sending it onto the tarmac, back onto the dirt section, catching it okay. We've got a series of jumps coming in into 5 left. Just watch our speed over these jumps. As soon as you lose connection with the floor underneath you, you're kind of just coasting until you hit it again. Managing these corners okay. 4 right opens extra into crest, into 6 left. So watch these calls as they come in. Here's that 4 right pretty long, into 6 left, into 6 right, into 5 left over jump. So make sure we set ourselves up accordingly over the jump and catching it just like that. Pretty solid example of how to set yourself up. When the call comes in, you know the angle that you have to hold over the jump, and if you set it up like that, you can just keep going like nothing happened. Now, realistically, very sketchy to just send it over a jump with your car basically sideways, but when you catch it, it works. And again, at the end of the second sector now, the lead growing even more, 10 seconds over the people that are anywhere close to us now. Into this 3 right, we know we have to be careful there. The logs outside, slow the car down, watch it here. And now that we know we have a gap, we're going to slow it down a little bit because there's a lot riding on this. Just keeping a manageable pace, jump into 3 left tightens. We're going to hit the brakes as soon as we land. Make sure we slow it down for that and then power out accordingly into the 6 right over 30. Get our speed all the way back up and then immediately have to slam it back down into the 3 right. Now we heard it opens 80. So we'll send it in late, catch the apex and power out because we know that corner is going to open up for us. At 5 left, caution, tightens 3. Do we listen this time? Yes, we do. I don't even know if that was the same corner that we crashed at last time, but again, going a little wide there. With 5 left, tightens 3. We need to remember those calls because, oh my lord, it's happened again. The second we get comfortable, we hit those edges of the stage. I'm going to start a petition to have someone just get a truck and drive.
Six left, extra.
All right, so that happened.
170.
Yeah, talk about the stage presented to you, and the stage will fight back. As you can see, massive crack in the windshield after the roll, and believe it or not, the car is still running. Now, if you look on the left-hand side of your screen, unbelievably, the AI has caught up with us rather quickly, and we're most likely going to lose this stage overall. So now we are just hoping, does the car have the heart to get to the finish line, and did we lose enough time for all of our hard work to go crashing down? Because if we did, I don't know what we're going to do. That was another rally win in the bag. If we manage to mess it up, it's going to be quite sad. But looking on the left-hand side, you can see we didn't lose as much time as I thought we did. I guess the fans on the side of the stage helped us flip over pretty quickly, and look at what is there at the end of the stage to make sure that we get some of that time back. The old, faithful, very tight, weird little barn section. Name trademarked, skill not so much. But this section should help us get some of the time back on the AI, because for some reason we take it much faster than they do. See the first couple of stage winners coming across the line, but we are only 5 seconds behind T. Serrano and V. Dahl, and Jacob Meyer's nowhere to be seen, and I'm pretty sure we were winning going into this stage.
The event win is in the bag.
And the event win is in the bag. That's what I'm talking about right there. Another great weekend by us. Not really. Once again, getting a little saved by the fact that the AI isn't as consistently on the pace as us, because we had quite a few shunts this weekend is what we'll call them. I don't have the ego to call them crashes because I don't crash. What are you talking about? But we do win rallies regardless of the shortcomings. And there we are at the top of the podium once again. Crowd's excited. We're excited. Car, not so much. That car wants to go home. That car needs some milk or something. But that is 30 points netted to us and $152,000 back to the team. It's big money time, and that's good because the car that we plan on running next season, no spoilers, is quite expensive. So we need all the help that we can get. We have unlocked the fastest engine tuning, and looking over the course of the championship, we have one in New Zealand, we have one in Spain, and now we have one in Poland. And up next, quite the runner for sure, but definitely not as hard as a weekend that we just had. So we can learn from our mistakes here. Looking over our advantage on the championship, things are looking fantastic for Season 3 of our career mode, and that is going to be the end of this episode. I thank you guys so much for stopping by to watch, as always. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to heel toe that like and subscribe combo. Helps me out a lot. If you liked anything, if you didn't like anything, feel free to comment down below. The channel's still pretty small. I see everything that y'all send in, I promise. But for now, that is going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and as always, I will catch y'all in the next one.